Good morning, welcome to the 16th of April technical breakdown from Crypto Collective. My name's Mark and I'm going to run you through three charts today. If you stay right until the end, I'll make sure you get plenty of value out of each of these charts. We're going to focus on Bitcoin, we're going to focus on Luna, and last but not least, the meme stock Doge. Just remember that Crypto Collective are not investment advisors. We are just sending out the best information so that you can make educated decisions in this highly volatile market. So let's get right on with it. Bitcoin, what do we have and what can we see happening with this cryptocurrency over the next day or two? Well, simply, we can see that the market has been putting in new highs and higher lows. This generally means that we're looking for a continued move to the upside. But just like anything, there has to be corrections. Think about human beings. We have to breathe in and out, breathe in and breathe out in order to keep going. So what does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, let's just put in a couple of simple technical levels that we can focus on to then forecast where this market might potentially go. So all we're doing is connecting the highs and the lows and looking to see where the next correction might come into so that we can take advantage of the next impulsive move. So what we've seen is we've seen the market move higher, we've corrected, we've pulled back into this area here, small little correction before coming up and making new all-time highs at 65,000. We're now in what we would call just a little bit of a corrective move. So where can this potentially come to? Well, we currently sit at the previous all-time high, so maybe buyers might find a little bit of an appetite to come in here at 61,300. However, I would prefer a little bit more of a drop in towards the 59,300 before we then try and attempt the 70,000 barrier. I'm just going to bring in a Fibonacci swing here so we can have a look and see where some of these icons line up. So we can see the market did a 50% retracement before then pushing on to create new highs, leaving the minus 27 at 66,500 yet to be touched. And then we look at the fib golden ratio up at 76,900. This is well within our realms, but remember we're still sitting within this channel, so let's not get carried away. So personally, I'm going to be looking for a correction back into 59,500, and before I look to buy, I want to make sure that we see that shift in sentiment from sellers to buyers. So we want to see this corrective move start to fade. A little bit like if you look at this move here, you can see the big blue candles, and then look what happens to the body. The body starts to shrink and the candle gets a little bit more wicky either side before we see that shift and that rollover. You see the same process here. You see those big blue candles, and then the blue candles, the bodies start to shrink. We get more tail ends, we get those longer wicks, and then we rotate and start to move higher. So forecast here for Bitcoin is a pullback into sort of 59,800, maybe down to as low as 59,000, and then we're going to look to run this one up in towards that 69,000 barrier, up towards the resistance trend line over here. Next, we're going to look at Luna. Is this one going to shoot for the moon, or are we going to stay in this corrective phase right now? Well, this has been a very popular market technically, and I'm going to run down why it's very, very popular with me, and we could be expecting to see price not just touch all-time highs, but run on even higher towards that $32, $33 mark. How are we going to take advantage of it? Well, it's really, really simple. We can see that the market has created these new lows coming through here. We've found some technical support here. If we measure up the highs, we can see that we've just broken out yesterday. We got a solid daily close that came in line with these previous high wicks here. But if we look at that daily candle, it's a big shift from what we were seeing over the previous 7 or 8 days here, coming out of this transition period. Now we're going to form a larger inverted head and shoulders pattern to the one that's already been formed. So what I'm referring to is this move here, where we've got a lower low, potentially going to come up, test that 19.5, come back to not far from where we are before we come on, test what was the previous all-time highs, and then push on even higher towards the $32, $33 mark. Now, how are we going to take advantage of this is the easy question, and also simple once I draw it out for you. If we look at these highs that were previously in here, I'm just going to have to edit this one very slightly once I've drawn it in, because I've not drawn it in exactly. There we go. I wanted those tips of wicks there. I'm just going to zoom right into this area right now. And what we can see is that when we drop down to a smaller time frame, so as I just explained to you, an inverted head and shoulders on the higher time frame, you'll see that we also have an inverted head and shoulders on this smaller time frame. So that's here's the low, we come up, form a high, a lower low, we come back to measure the same price point here, we formed a higher low, and then we've tested this area here is what we call the neckline, a break above the neckline, and we could see this move come back and run into this area. So we're looking to trade an inverted head and shoulders within an inverted potential head and shoulders forming on the higher time frame. So a break above yesterday's high and then a retest of $17 is going to be a perfect entry for us. We'll be looking at taking some early profits around 19.5 because this could be where we see that higher time frame head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders start to play out. So we're going to look for an early entry, take some early profits, and then look to scale back in on any retest. If it doesn't pull back and keeps going, it doesn't matter. We're happy with the initial entries, but that's going to be the way that we're going to look to trade this currency at Crypto Collective. Now, you're probably wondering where we get the $32 to $33 target from. Well, this is quite simple. It's a measured move from what we've seen previously. So the measured move is this one here. You can see the impulsive move to where the correction starts, and then we're looking for that move to basically replicate itself. So you can see that comes into this area. If we pull in the Fibonacci tool back and we have a look at how these are measuring up, we can see not only does it surpass the -27, but it comes in very close to the golden ratio, 1.618. I won't be looking to take the extended targets all that way, but I will be looking for that $32 barrier. And if we look at that, that's a substantial gain from where we currently sit. We're talking best part of 100% growth from those price points. So looking forward to some serious gains there, guys. And last but not least, let's take a look at Dogecoin. Now, unfortunately, from a technical perspective, there isn't a great deal we can say about this one. This really is a meme stock that is getting hit with celebrity tweets and everything, and it looks like the retail public are just jumping on the bandwagon. All we can say is that from a technical perspective, once it broke out of this high here, you know, it literally has just been plain sailing and done about 150% in the last 3 days. For those of you that are in this market, don't expect the parabolic move to continue, and please remember, as fast as they go up, they can come back down. So anyone that is in this from down here, I think it's a great time to be taking some profits off the table. And you know, if you want to leave it in, that's your call, but definitely remember, if you don't bank anything, it is never profit, it's just theoretical profit. So on that note, guys, that's Crypto Collective checking out today. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow with our latest updates. Bye bye.